All right, Ron. So what we got here?
This is a
Not a chondro.
its name is the Notachondro. It's not a chondro. It's a pixel emerald tree boa from a northern emerald from Suriname.
Yeah.
It's a potential new morph of these.
Right.
So it's something new we're working on.
So this is an imported animal.
Yeah, it was recently imported about a month ago.
Okay. And yeah, I've never seen an emerald. I mean, from the back you can't tell it's not a chondro because you can't see the face. But if you were to look at that animal, it would look like a really nice chondro at that.
It looks like a biak.
Yeah, like a biak. You know, a lot of people are weird about keeping these guys outside here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And you've kind of like, these animals are thriving here for you. You've kind of proven some of those ideas wrong already. But what exactly are you doing differently that people aren't doing and that maybe you're having success with that others aren't?
I mean, the main thing is we're running a completely different set of parameters than people do indoors.
Right.
We noticed early on that they like to keep their body temperature at 94 degrees, so they bask a lot in the sunlight until they hit that point, and then they'll move into the shade, and they'll regulate it and keep it at 94 throughout the day. But the main reason we did it is because the hydration on these guys in captivity is not where it should be.
Yeah.
But the problem is, in order to get it to where it needs to be, it requires you to funnel a lot of water in, which requires you to have very good ventilation, which requires you to have higher heat because obviously you're funneling a lot of water to them. So you can't maintain them at this current ideas of how to keep them. So the whole thing had to change. So we're building the system for them now. And basically we're running them at much higher heat. They are running at Florida ambience, which 90 degrees on average. And like I said, they bask just like a lizard does. They want to be hot. They're clearly, there's over 50 animals here, and they're all choosing the same thing. It's 94 degrees. When they're gravid, they're raising their temperature to 111.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different.
So as far as, you know, obviously they're animals that require heavy amounts of water and rain because they're from the Amazon. You told me that you have these sprinkler systems running for, how long do you run them per day?
It depends on the day and if it rains or not, and the season. But right now, when on days that it doesn't rain, I'll run it anywhere from 1 to 3 hours.
So it's running an hour of water, just
full,
rain.
Just soaking rain.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have these tubs down here where the water collects, and when it's not raining, it's creating that extra humidity in the enclosure.
Yeah, and we keep one side always has a water substrate about 3 inches deep, and then one side is a dry side. Yeah. So they can choose whatever they want.
Gotcha.
But this is very similar to how they would be found during the flooding season in the Amazon. The whole, it floods. Yeah. And then they're basically, and then a water substrate works really well for tropical, and it's easy to keep clean. Yeah. And then we use no substrate at all, so it's substrateless other than water. Yeah. So that's another thing that's let us, I think, establish wild caught stuff much easier. All these emeralds here, with the exception of small group, are wild caught.
And they're all doing, fantastic. How long you've had them already? 6 months?
We're on about 6 months into the experiment. Yeah. So
interesting.
But so far, it's worked way better than I had anticipated.
Right.
And we're also now expanding it into chondros as well.
Wow.
So.
All right, guys. I hope you took all this information in and learned as much as I did in this tour. If you want to reach these guys, make sure you hit them up at FairyTail Dragons on Instagram and Facebook. They're great people, so they will love to talk to you. Ask them all the questions you want, and they'll get back to you.
I'm gonna kill you.